Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome if you are new to the channel. Welcome back if you love me. We love you too. We're here for messages in divine timing whenever it is meant to catch you. There is something in the message for you, I'm sure. Just in case, we are going to pull some pineapple charms. There will be timestamps in the description and the comments after. But today's reading, we're going to be using the Harrow cards, the Vice Versa Tarot, the After Tarot, and the Star Codes Astro Oracle for some guidance. All right, I'm just going to move these to the side real quick while we get pineapple charming. For those of you not familiar with the channel and you're new and you don't know who pineapple charming is, I made a discernment pineapple and he's got thousands of charms in here. So because a lot of readers on YouTube, they post a lot, people can get really hooked on trying to receive messages and forcing them to fit. And it's not healthy. So I created pineapple charming as a way to help you discern whether or not there was something in the reading for you, whether it's the whole reading in and of itself, or if there's just something I say that clicks with you and that's why you were meant to catch the message. Okay. If one or more of the charms resonates with you, then there is likely something in the message for you. Okay. For everybody else, if you don't resonate with any of the charms, you can hold space, listen to my voice, ASMR, whatever they call it. Or just trust your own discernment, right? If it's meant for you and you trust your discernment, then you caught it for a reason. All right. But for those of you who battle with the reading addiction, that's what the charms are for. All right. So I gave pineapple charming a really good shake off camera because his app is loud. And we're going to see what charms come out for you today. All right, one more. All right, Spirit. There we go. Thank you, Charming. It's always a pleasure. Let's see what charms we've got today. So we've got our heart pepperoni pizza. I think it's pepperoni and mushrooms, if I'm going to be completely honest, but we've got a pizza. So I don't know if you got yourself a pizza today. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Happy Mother's Day to you. It's Mother's Day in real time, y'all. We've also got, we've got one of our mood charms. It's a hurricane or a tornado, however you want to look at it. But this is someone whose headspace is a mess. And they might be taking that mess out on other people, rightfully or unrightfully so. All right, don't just assume they're crazy. They might have real legit reasons why they're losing their shit, but the tornado and the hurricane destroy everything in their path. All right, just might be the mood you're in. We've also got our St. Patty's Day Lucky Leprechaun hat. So being Irish or Scot-Irish may be synchronistic for you. We've also got our city dove. It's a pigeon. All right, so you may live in the city or just randomly saw pigeons around. You may even be catching them on reels or shorts or whatever. We've also got our axe or hatchet. So you may be a firefighter, or this message may pertain to someone who is, or you could be cutting through wood lately. Right, especially if you're like outside with bonfires and stuff, you might be cutting up some wood. We've also got the Wheel of Fortune charm. So this may be significant if you're having a Jupiter return with Jupiter in Taurus right now. You may also be dealing with some significant exact placements or alignments with your natal Jupiter. We've also got a tambourine, our music notes and tambourine. So you may be listening to certain old school music. Tambourine always reminds me of Stevie Nicks, but you know, details. We've also got our castle. All right. So you may be building sand castles. You could own castles like figurines or statues. You may have taken a trip recently to Disney World or looking at pictures from time when you did. All right. So we've got castle. You might even be watching Disney movies, right? We've also got an owl here. So owls might be synchronistic for you. We've also got the white rabbit. He came out last time in his red tux. He's in his black one now. We've got our Black Mermaid charm back out. So nod to Piscean energy. We've also got a seahorse. So seahorses may be significant for you. You may be watching The Little Mermaid. We've got a black cat. So black cats may be synchronistic for you as well. You could even be watching like Felix the Cat. That's an old school movie. And we've got one of our crowns. We've got our golden crown out here. We have two of our micro playing cards, both kings. We've got the King of Diamond and the King of Clubs. Tarot equivalents are the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So you may be in a same-sex dynamic, whether it's romantic or otherwise. You might be dealing with someone of the same sex. Or if you are female or identify as female, you may be dealing with a choice between two masculine energies. But the energy of the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands is someone who is, you know, King of Diamonds, King of Pentacles is someone who is very financially stable and sound. They tend to have, like, regardless of gender, big dick energy. They're always, you know, in control or able to take control and make shit work. With the King of Wands is sexy, but he's also super independent, notorious for being unattached, visionary, right? Very visionary type energy. So you may be dealing with someone who has both of those kind of personality traits, or you may be embodying them yourself. But it's definitely potentially a choice between two different people. Zodiac signs, you may have Leo in your big three, Cancer in your big three, or Gemini in your big three, or they could, and because the Wheel of Fortune came out in the charms, and that's Jupiter, you could also have Jupiter in Leo, Cancer, or Gemini. All right, for letters. Now, the letters are super specific with colors for those who need it super specific with colors, but the letters are the letters. So don't get hung up on the colors. They're just there for people who really need that kind of bitch slap from spirit, like, you know, pay attention. So blue is for boys and pink is for girls. It doesn't matter to me what you resonate as. Black is yin, it is feminine dominant, and white is yang, it's masculine dominant. So we've got pink X, white K, black W, black C, and black V. It could also be, you know, significant to where you live, like abbreviations and things like that. Like KC could be Kansas City, you know, so take them as they resonate for you. We've got WV out here, so it could be West Virginia. All right, take them as they resonate. There's only 5 of them, and I can't make any words because, well, there ain't no vowels out here. So CWVKX. All right, so let's see, starting with the Harrow. For those of you unfamiliar with Harrow cards, they're totally D&D cards, Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't know Dungeons and Dragons, I'm a huge fan. I play it with my son. We're in the middle of a pretty awesome campaign right now. But the book has all D&D lingo in it, so I will translate into like everyday terms, because even though these are D&D cards, they are wildly accurate when it comes to like real life readings. So that's why we always end up going back to them. Spirit guides me to them all the time. So Spirit, what is going on that you would guide us here in divine time? Guys, too, just because in real time it's Mother's Day does not mean this reading is not, doesn't mean it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. You know, just because the crime rate's better doesn't mean the tarot readings will be. So anything can come out of these cards at any time. All right. Let's see. Y'all who have been following me for a while, you know I'm not a sugarcoating, fluffy kind of reader. I'm a truth speaker. So we've got the publican. Hey, Lala, how are you? Beautiful. We've got the bear. I feel like there's more. What else? Ooh, and the theater. Ooh, Spirit's told me there's more. Okay. All right, Spirit, what else? And then the demon's lantern came out with the beating. Well, well, well. All right. All right. Those last two kind of have me shook. I ain't gonna lie. All right. Just to give you all a heads up, the big sky is on the bottom and the avalanche is on bottom. So I'm personally not going to be surprised if something is crashing down. Okay. Especially if something is crashing down in order to free someone else. Right. If we look, hey, Kitty, welcome back. We look at these cards, we've got the figure here, the chains are breaking, right? So there could be something coming down and someone finally seeing the light and freeing themselves. We're going to get into the details of these cards. So let's see. The Publican is a wisdom card, and they are a chaotic good character. Okay, that's the energy is chaotic good. So you guys can see a close up of that card. So the Publican represents fellowship and camaraderie, a place of refuge for those in need. Most would find the Cyclops inconsequential, but he has insights relevant to the reading or the quest. So the Publican may or may not be a main character in this reading, but they are present for those who need it. This is someone who probably, despite all past or differences or whatever, this is someone you could probably consider a friend, or you might identify as the Publican yourself and know that you hold that space for people who are going through this life and learning from their mistakes. But it's a friendship card and someone who creates a place of refuge or peace, right? A place to kind of unpack things. So you might also be that kind of person, because they remind me of a bartender and how, like, we always end up, hey, April Fools, how you doing? We always end up, or at least some people do, end up telling all their secrets to the bartender. It kind of reminds me of that. So they might be that kind of person who others feel they can just trust with the truth. If you are not the Publican, but are encountering one or someone like that, or are questioning whether or not you could trust a person, opening up about certain things that you're dealing with or have dealt with, right? Unpacking shit that's going on, in your psyche or in your energy space, like, you probably can lean on to this person. All right, we're going to get some more details about them in a bit. All right, the next card we have is the Bear. So the Bear is a strength card. And it's neutral in energy, right? The Publican was chaotic good and the Bear is true neutral. So the Bear represents pure strength. People often make the mistake of thinking the Bear can be tamed or trained. When someone believes they have the Bear under control, that person eventually learns the error of their ways. Brute force might be required here, but the consequences of using it might be severe. So the Bear, this is someone who doesn't do quote unquote magic tricks. They're not, putting on a show. This is a realist. I feel like this is someone represents potentially very set in their ways and unchanging, right? And as soon as you try to make the Bear something that they are not, they remind you why they are the Bear. right? It could be like someone wanting the bear to be a pushover and putting on an act, you know, how people get really dramatic or they try and manipulate other people and the bear's not fucking having it. It could also be like on the darker side of things, like if someone were to be in a relationship with someone who's like a cheater, right? And the saying goes, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater. This person might always have side pieces or things like that. Other people that they mess around with in secret. They might be a secretive person and you're trying to get them to be loyal. You're trying to get them to be transparent and honest, and that is not in their nature. And the more you push them to settle into, you know, higher alignment, they might fall back into their more primitive shadow energies, right? So the bear is someone who is stuck in their ways for better or worse. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Because it's neutral. So they are who they are. And someone is probably trying to tame the bear. And the bear is an untamable energy. So if you are trying to make someone change, force them to change, that is likely to backfire, right? It's likely to backfire. As we get into the theater is a charisma card. All right. Now the theater, it's a neutral, good aligned card. It is the card of true prophecy. The puppets act out a scene just as the prophet acts out a scene in which she has no part. The prophet is the audience, and the prophecy is the show. She has no influence on what she sees, and its importance is often not recognized until it's too late. Okay. So there's this third party on the outside looking in, okay? Because I think with the theater, talking about the prophet, you could have or be someone on the outside who is watching this show and kind of knowing that there is nothing you could do to change the story. It's going to play out however it's going to play out, whether it's drama, tragedy, comedy, romance, you know, it doesn't matter. The show is going to be what it is. And the viewer of this, whoever it is watching the show, they already know how it's going to play out. A part of them has an idea of how it would play out, but they have no control over it. There may also be a surprise ending, right? We know how shows love to do that. So there's definitely someone maybe even saying, I promise you this is going to happen, or I swear I feel like this is going to happen. And the characters are like, no, right? But it's almost like they know, right? It's almost like they know, right? Okay. So the last two cards, we have the Demon's Lantern and the Beating. It's an intelligence card or a dexterity card and a strength card. I'm going to read these for you. Okay. So the Demon's Lantern is a chaotic evil energy. And the Beating is a neutral evil energy. So the Demon's Lantern is the card of traps and tricks, sleight of hand and sleight of mind. The will-o'-wisps and the man who sought their light represent an impossible or intractable situation. The beating signifies coming under attack from all sides, but it can also indicate the dissolution of the self mentally. Whether the strength is of the flesh or the mind, it dissolves under the relentless attack. So someone may have been going after the light of someone else and realizing that they're taking a beating on all sides, and maybe they're the only person actually seeking out the light of said person, right? Especially because we have the bear here, and the bear is unchanging. You could have an individual who is trying to pull the light out of this individual, but every time they try to do that and the bear goes back to being a bear, they're struggling, right? This person here is drowning in the swamp. They're looking for a hand out of this energy, and yet all of the hands seem to be pulling them further under as opposed to helping them out of it. You can't teach an old bear new tricks. Okay. And someone knows this. It might even be the publican, to be fair, because the publican hears the story. They can't change the story they're being told by said person, but they're listening and observing, and they could already have a feeling that it's going to end a certain way, right? So there's definitely this energy going on where someone might have been trying to pull the light out of someone else, and it's not working. A matter of fact, it might actually be like dissolving them mentally, right? Like the card said, like they might be thinking that they're crazy. They might feel like the people who have always had their back don't have their back anymore. They might be getting gaslit, you know, like whatever the circumstance is that you were guided to this reading, whether it's something you're dealing with or you are very well aware of someone else dealing with the situation and there's nothing you could do about it. This reading is going to be some confirmation for you that you're not crazy and you're seeing what you're seeing accurately. There is someone who doesn't change and someone who is trying, right? Y'all know how I feel about that word trying. Do or do not. There is no try, right? Someone is trying to tame the bear, and the bear is doing bear things and they're drowning in it, right? They don't actually know what to do with this situation, but they're definitely struggling. So let's get some insight into this. We're going to hop into the tarot. We're going to start with the after tarot, and then we'll get some evolution of circumstance with the after tarot. What does this whole situation look like? Whether you are on the outside getting insight of what is going on with this situation, or you're involved in it, what does this situation look like? Spirit, please, insight. All right, so we've got the Star and the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is in the back face there. This is the vice versa tarot, so there's images on both sides of the cards. We've got the Page of Coin, also in the back face. We've got the High Priestess here, and the Two of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the Devil, and we've got the start of the clarifier. So we got the Ace of Cups, the Three of Wands, the Hermit, the Eight of Coins. What else? I need 4 more, Spirit. Ooh. We have the Magician, back face and reverse. We also have the Knight of Coin. Maybe two more. And we have the Two of Cups and the Star card. Did I say the Star card before? This is the Empress, my bad. You can see they both have this star here, and it does kind of give that vibe in this deck. So let's see. Top of the deck, we have the Six of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. All right. So what the heck is going on? The Empress with the Ace of Cups, they're both in the nighttime. To be fair, almost all of the cards closest to the Publican are in the nighttime, with the exception of the Three of Wands, where the sun is rising. And it reminds me of the Journey, right? We have strong divine feminine energy here. And the Ace of Cups, this person, especially because I'm pretty sure I mistaken them for the Star, I feel like this person is really high feminine energy, and that they kind of bring a healing presence wherever they go. It's almost like they're a vehicle for the divine. Like, they are where they are in divine time for a reason. They bring healing wherever they go. I feel like the universe pours out love energy, God, source, creator, whatever you label that higher power as. I feel like they're definitely divinely guided and pushed and pulled by the higher self. The Two of Swords and the Three of Wands, I really do feel like this person might be the one perceiving and seeing the whole story, because the Two of Swords, they're between a rock and a hard place, right? The Two of Swords is looking at the full moon, and full moons can be chaotic, but I feel like they're looking at this big story, and there's nothing they can do about it except move forward to wherever they're being called present next. Like, just because the healing shows up doesn't mean people are willing to receive it. You know, the bartender might give great advice, you know, to the person sitting at the bar, but if they're in their drunken stupor and don't remember what the bartender was saying, you know, or if they're dead set on staying stuck and they're just using the bartender as someone to vent to, and they're not heeding the advice, they're going to go back into their problem. You know, they're going to perpetuate the problem. But I feel like whoever the publican is, they bring healing wherever they go. And if you listen to the publican, you're likely to have the sun rise, right? Start going through your rising and maybe even getting out of your dark night. The publican's an ally. It's definitely a friend in soul. No doubt. Okay. The Bear, we've got the Page of Pentacles and the back face with the Hermit card. The High Priestess and the Eight of Coins. I heard the word opportunist. It's almost like this person, because I'm actually being super drawn to the fact that the grass is so dang green and it's so long. It's like they're, and the cornucopia there, it's like they're constantly trying to see if the grass is greener on the other side. And it's not that it is, it's just they're curious. And it's almost like their curiosity gets the best of them. And they're trying to see or feel through other people. Because, and the reason why this Hermit card in the back face is so closely connected to the Moon energy is because the Moon is card number 18. It adds up to 9, and the Hermit is number 9. Right? We've even got a crab down here on the card. I feel like this person might be really intuitive or empathic and get a really good read on people. And they might be very hardworking. You know, they put in a lot of effort in whatever they do, and they're teaching. They could be teaching children, or they're kind of almost like telling their inner child how it is. Their inner child might not understand why they do what they do, but it's almost like the mind is correcting the inner child, like, no, watch and learn, watch and listen. This is how you navigate through life. This is how you do things, right? Opportunist. I don't think that this person uses their intuition to their benefit or the benefit of anybody else. It is almost coming off selfish. The High Priestess is also very mysterious and comes with a lot of secrets. So there may be a Virgo Pisces polarity going on in their chart. They may have an opposition there. But I feel like no one really knows what this person is doing. I think they're trying to, honestly, they might be trying to skirt karma for their actions. Whatever it is that they're doing, it's going to be different for everybody. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I feel like the bear, let me actually pull. It's my Lord of the Rings tarot. Give me just a little more clarity on this. Wow, they flew right out. All right. Definitely strong Pisces energy. Could definitely have Cancerian energy in their chart. We've got the King of Cups here with the star. Could also be Aquarian or Uranian energy at play here. This person might be a catalyst for other people's healing. Okay. This person might be a catalyst for other people to heal. By being in their shadow, they force other people into their light, into choosing their light. Right? When people's darkness is attracted to this person because this person contains a certain shadow, people end up ultimately finding their light because of them, if that makes sense. They're catalytic. Because they are just who they are, and they do not change, right? They do not change. And because they are unchanging and have secrets or shadows, those secrets and shadows don't change. And if someone doesn't like it, then they are forced to change. Either they have to accept that they're with somebody that behaves or proceeds through life in a way that they don't necessarily agree with or appreciate, or they have to leave said person, right? I think this person's, I think they're a shadow worker, right? No different than there's light workers, there's shadow workers. And I think that's exactly what the bear is. I think they're a shadow worker. I think they work with their own shadows, and it forces other people into their light, right? Because the darkness serves the light. They might lure people in with sadness. We've got the 5 of Cups on the bottom. People might feel bad for them. And we've got the Devil. Yeah, this person, I'm telling you, this person is a servant of the light, but they utilize the dark. Okay, they utilize the dark to do this. This person is a catalyst. They are sad in soul, grieving in soul, and so they attract other sad or grieving souls who don't love who they are. This might be someone who is self-loathing, who keeps their emotions very tight to their chest. They don't let other people or express how they're feeling very often. They might be a really old soul. They might be a really old soul. I think they might even have like a hidden wisdom. I definitely feel like this person's a shadow worker. Okay. I don't doubt that for a second. The theater. We've got the Two of Wands in the back face with the Magician in the reverse, and the Eight of Wands with the Knight of Coin. Knight of Coins in the back face, Magician's reverse, and in the back face. I feel the person, because the Magician in the reverse is manipulative, but I think with it in the back face, the manipulation is for the intention of good. It's almost as if this person is trying to manipulate the bear into changing because it would actually be better for the bear, right? They're not trying to manipulate the bear to take advantage of them. They're trying to manipulate the bear so that the bear can heal or be a better person. They're future oriented. They like to look and into the future and see the bright side of things, right? This is someone who sees potential, no doubt. They see potential. But the divine is letting them know to move forward, right? That eight of Wands with the Pegasus and the lightning, like lightning is epiphany. Lightning is epiphany. And the divine is trying to communicate to this person that they need to move forward. The Knight of Coins in the back face is about forward movement, but they don't want to look at it. They don't want to look at it. The publican might already know this shit is what is coming to be, right? Because the theater, we were talking about how it's prophetic. And I think that ultimately the outside people looking in see already that anything good aligned is going to have to get into their good alignment and leave the stuckness of the bear, right? Whatever the shadow worker catalytic energy is, at some point they're going to have to heal, right? This whole time, I think the person inside the theater is really like hoping for the best outcome. Like they're really optimistic. They want the best, but they're completely naive. They do not realize that they're dealing with a shadow worker. They do not realize that they are with an immovable force, unchangeable person, right? They don't realize what they're dealing with. There's naivete there. So when we get the Demon's Lantern and the beating out with the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Cups, the Devil and the Star card, that's exactly what's going on. The Devil energy that came out on the bottom of on the top of the deck for the bear, the Devil's right here. The fact of the matter is the Devil energy is healing them. It is healing whoever this person is, and it's changing how they look at partnerships. It's changing how they look at soulmates. It's changing how they look at themselves. It's changing everything. I think this person is slowly awakening the more innocent person to the dark that is out there, right? Because even though we're all here on a very mundane level, we all have a very spiritual purpose for why we're here and what we're healing. And there's certain characters in play in the storyline and the plot of things that are never changing. Like the villain doesn't change. The villain is the villain, no matter how much you try to rehabilitate a villain. They always end up going back to their evil ways, right? And this is kind of what the bear is representing. They're representing someone who is in said person's story playing the villain, and the person doesn't even realize that they're trying to love the devil. You know, they're trying to love the villain. They're trying to rehabilitate the villain. And it doesn't work like that. This is probably, it's almost like I'm getting this vibration of like an origin story where the hero of the story ends up going through a very difficult beginning that triggers them into the hero's path. If that makes sense, right? Because we were talking about the big sky and how the chains are breaking and that everything is crashing down, and it is to free this person. Yeah, I feel like the darkness is serving whoever this is, but they're not necessarily understanding that right now. They're going to come out of this stronger. They are going to come out of this healing. You know, this is a sacred soul contract that was agreed to before this lifetime began, right? That they came into this life in agreement that this is what needed to heal and this is the role that the bear was going to play, right? They talked about this before coming into this life. So, I mean, it's not like this person is truly an enemy. This life is a show. It is an illusion. You know, it's not real to the point that anything that goes on, particularly in this life, matters, like how much money you make. It's a matter of what healing you did. Right? We come into this life experience with the intention to heal certain things in our family line, certain things that we as facets of the one collected soul have agreed to heal and take on. You know, we come into this life with a mission to heal. So I don't feel like this person is a villain in soul and in the bigger picture of things, but they're definitely playing this role in this life in order to propel this person into the healing that they really wanted to achieve in this life, right? It's like the cycle ends with me, right? The chains are breaking. I'm no longer enslaved to this shadow, right? These demons. I feel like someone is going to come out better than when they went in as an individual. But, you know, there's nothing light and fluffy and rainbows about dealing with the devil or dealing with shadow workers, right? Dealing with catalytic type people. It's not painless, you know, it's the pain being used to reset it. You know, it's kind of like if you were to break a bone and you don't treat it correctly, right? If you don't take care of it, the bone can heal incorrectly. It could cause different problems because it healed incorrectly. It could be in a lot of pain because it didn't heal correctly. And so the shadow worker, the bear, is kind of like that person that comes in and re-breaks the bone so that you can treat it correctly, so that it heals correctly, so that it's not in pain anymore, so that it is more functional to what it's supposed to be doing, right? If you have certain parts of yourself that were broken as a kid, as a youth, right? Childhood wounds. If you have certain things in your psyche that were broken, I think this person is re-breaking the psyche of someone else so that they can reset it correctly. You know, that they can reset it correctly and not be in that kind of pain anymore, or ever be attracted to someone who is catalytic, like a shadow worker again, right? That they would be able to smell that energy from a mile away and want nothing to do with it because it was their shadows that connected them to this person to begin with, right? We talked about how they were a sad soul and were attracted to the sadness in this person. and wanted to heal this person of their sadness because they thought it would make them happier, when really this person is helping them heal themselves so that they are no longer unhappy. This person will probably continue being unhappy and attract the next unhappy soul and do the same thing, right? Psychically breaking someone and helping them reset. This person doesn't change, but they attract people who truly do want to change, right? Who truly do want to be happy. So let's see, we're going to get some further insight into how this is unfolding moving forward. This is the After Tarot. Spirit, please, insight into one of the potential paths that could take place. Most likely path, right? If none of the energy were to change and we were to just continue about the way we are going. Yeah, we've got the World and the Empress. The Three of Coin and the Five of Swords. The Hermit in the reverse and the Sun in reverse. And two more, please. We've got the Knight of Swords, right, which came out here. And the Death card. Yeah, they're getting slain. Whoever it is, if they're not getting saved by anybody else, they're going to save themselves. They're going to completely transform. We have the Hierophant here and the Emperor here, both down. We have tears, right? The heart space is hurt, but it is what it is. I think this person ultimately is going to end up letting the Hermit go. Right? The ending of the show, we've got the Hermit, which is here under the Bear in the reverse, and the Sun in the reverse. They're going to let go of the shadow. Even if they were a person who you never thought would leave, they're leaving. They found their catalyst, right? Their healing catalyst. This person is contracted to argue. This person is contracted to feel like they've won and watch the other person walk away. Even right here in the Page of Coins, the cornucopia is down there. The figure here is holding this basket loaded with stuff. Kind of reminds you of the cornucopia energy that's here. Yeah, this person has contracts to be combative, to be argumentative. The Five of Swords, this person is conflict-driven, conflict-oriented. That might be what's really familiar to them. They would rather be right and watch someone walk away. Or they would like to pretend that they're right, even if they've been proven wrong, even if there's receipts, like kind of thing. This person would probably take whatever battle they're fighting to the grave, even if that meant someone else thinking they were crazy when they're not. This person is contracted to be manipulative, secretive. And they might move forward playing the victim. Like, even if they've got all the swords and other people walked away from them, it would be like they left me all alone type thing, right? The sadness that they used to attract other people. We got the Empress out here twice on the Publican. And with the World card, everything comes full circle. This person is still the high feminine. I think this person's the true intuitive. With the swan and the little swanlings. I don't know what they call baby swans. Ducks or ducklings. But I would not call a swan chick, little swan chick, a duckling. But I feel like this person is no longer needed in this story. I think that they were present as a guide, present as a warning, and either it was heeded or it wasn't. But the divine showed up with this energy, being present for this drama in the event that they wanted to change the story they were living, right? They could have guided the bear and said, you know, make sure that you stay loyal. Like, I wouldn't cheat on this one. They're a good one. Don't betray that one. But if they did anyway, they did anyway. But they still had to be given the option to see something differently outside of their nature. It's no different if the publican warned their person, like the other person, like, hey, this person has a history, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater kind of thing. Like, I've seen them in this bar. We were talking about the bartender analogy. I've seen them in this bar with multiple other women, you know, like they are not committal. And the person, you know, saw the best in them and wanted to try and heal them anyway. And they ignored the warning, right? I think the publican was in the highest energy there is, divine order with the world card, that Saturnian energy. And I feel like that person was present so long as these two were playing out their story. Ultimately, I do think that the story falls apart, and that whoever the catalyst, right, the shadow worker was in a dynamic ship with, I think that person is going to be healing into their light and letting go of the shadow worker. I think that the catalytic event that needed to take place for this person to heal and be the source of their own happiness, to focus on their own healing, I think that that's transpired. Because the divine never leaves us. You know, we always have our angels, as above and so below. We have earth angels here. No different than we have guides and guardians in the other planes of existence, you know. And I think that the publican being present really was important for the divine to give said people an option to not learn the hard way, or to heal so that they didn't have to suffer whatever the outcome was going to be, right? Because we have free will choice. Like, yeah, we come in with these missions to heal certain things, and it didn't have to be this way. Like, just because the bear has never changed in the past doesn't mean they can't, like, big bang, like in the darkness, decide that they're going to heal and be better. You know, just because this person got sucked into martyring themselves and seeing the potential in an unchangeable person doesn't mean that they can't have an epiphany and be like, you know what, you're right, all of these red flags are really there, maybe I should just let this go. You know, the divine is always present for us. And so I think that ultimately we had an earth angel present for two people, the light worker and the shadow worker, helping an individual come into their own light and leave their shadows behind. I think that is exactly what is happening at the end of the day, right, in the long run. So guidance card, we're going to pull the Star Code Astro Oracle and just get one card and see what comes out. These are so pretty, these cards. We're going to see what kind of guidance spirit would have for you. What card above all other cards, spirit, is guidance for those who would catch this message in divine timing? What do they need awareness of in regards to this message to help them moving forward? Dignified. It's a strength card. when a planet is in its dignity, it's in its ruling sign. Okay, being in your element is being in your strength. So I'm going to read this for you. It's card number 13. Dignified. A planet is at its strongest when it is essentially or accidentally dignified in a sign or placement that aligns with its nature and adds strength. For example, Mars is its most Mars-like when in Scorpio or Aries, the two signs it rules, or in Capricorn, which is a strong sign of leadership. A dignified planet is like the soccer player who happens to be out in front and free in the exact right place to receive a pass. Action. Your voice matters. Trust that you are what's needed here in this moment. You are in your element and at the right place at the right time. So you have an advantage. But it's up to you to make a choice and run with the ball. Dodge the obstacles and look for the opportunities just beginning to emerge. Have faith in yourself. You have what it takes, even if you don't know it yet. It's up to you to tap into your potential and find the resources within. Play to your strengths. Use your contacts. Sing the song that best fits your voice. Do so with humble respect for the process. This situation is strong enough for you to fulfill your potential without stepping on another person to get ahead. The wind is with you, but will not do the work for you. Take the lead. Do your work and bring your team along with you. The challenge. It may be tempting to take over. Yes, it is time for you to shine, but bring everyone along with you rather than dominate them, or you may be left high and dry once the game is over. The gift of this card. For weeks, months, or lifetimes, you have prepared for this moment. The muscles you've built in body and soul, and the understanding you have accrued are needed here at this time and place. Everybody serves a purpose. Everybody has their strengths. Some people are big-time financial earners. Some people are not. Some people are big-time nurturers, super empathic, high compassion, always there when someone needs them and needs to feel understood. Some people are not. Some people are very affectionate. Some people are very involved and do take initiative, and some people do not. Some people are brilliant. Some people learn quickly. Others do not. Right? Everybody has their strengths. This is a reminder that you have your strengths. And if you are trying to pull strength from someone who is weak in that area, that's not their forte, right? Like, I can be empathic and I can be nurturing and I can be understanding and I can love deeply. But if I'm trying to pull that out of someone who doesn't feel for me, who is narcissistic or sociopathic or whatever the fuck, they just don't like me like that. And I want them to love me in the ways that I love. Well, instead of trying to make them or force them to be more like me, I really should just find someone who is naturally strong in their own empathy. Someone who is also compassionate and considerate and allows me the freedom to be myself and vice versa. Right? Instead of trying to force someone to heal things that they may or may not want to heal or are or aren't supposed to heal with me, you know? It's no different than someone who loves money, loves being able to save money and buy nice things, and they're all about, wealth and luxury. This is their lifestyle. They want a partner who makes money just like they do, but that partner is not a money earner kind of person. Maybe they don't do well in workplace settings. Maybe they are easily distracted. And they can't even work from home because their ADD would have them all over the fucking place, and they would actually be cleaning the bathroom to avoid work. Right? We all know how ADD is. If you have ever been with an ADD person or are ADD yourself, if you know you have something to do, you will do everything and anything but that just to not do it because you know you have to. You will literally clean to get out of doing certain shit. You will run errands so that you don't have to clean. Like it's always backwards. So, if you have a person who is more, maternal, or they like, being at home, or they're more social and you want them to be some big earner, they're not your person. You're trying to force them to be something that is not natural to them. It's like trying to force a, full-blown carnivorous, meat-eating person to be a vegan. They love their fucking steak. They love their steak. You are not going to convince them to be vegan. They will break it. They will start sneaking cheeseburgers from Wendy's when, they're out at the store. Like you can't force people to be something that they are not or are not ready to be because they've chosen it of their own free will to be that. You've got to meet someone that you're compatible with instead of trying to force them to be something that they're not. If you want certain qualities in a partner, look for a partner who has those qualities. Naturally, it's their strength, because you are going to be disappointed if you think that you can mold them into something else. It's like those people where the chemistry, the sexual chemistry is fucking bomb, like it's fucking amazing. And you love that sexy chemistry that you have with them. But if you are not compatible with them in long-term partnership ways, if you don't speak the same love language, or at least can appreciate the other's love language and provide that for them so that they feel loved, then you're not a good match. Then it's awesome. You've got great bomb chemistry. Cool. But you don't have what it takes to be a long-term partner with that person. And at some point, you're going to have to let it go. If you want someone compatible with your happily ever after vision that you have in your head. It's about being in your strength and not pretending to be something that you're not, or trying to be something that you're not for someone else. Right? It is what it is. There are people that I've connected with in this life where the chemistry was fucking wild. I would never be with them though. Never. Because everything else they do in their life, they are not partner material. They are not partner material. Like, me personally, I'm not going to date someone who is hardcore into drinking, smoking, weed, and pills, or whatever the fuck else they do. It's not my cup of tea. He has a great personality. The chemistry is great. He makes good money, but I don't deal with that shit. I don't deal with that shit. I would never actually be with him. It would not work out. I would be stressed out of my fucking mind. I would be stressed out of my mind. And you gotta let it, you gotta let it go. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not, willing to settle for the drama of it all. So I don't have a problem being in the middle of bumfuck nowhere away from everybody. Or even the temptation to get involved in drama like that. It doesn't exist here. I'm in like a Twilight Zone bubble. Like, you've really got to set boundaries with yourself and be like, yeah, like, this about them is great. That about them is great. But this is my deal breaker. And they cross that line, right? They cross the line into whatever is a deal breaker for you. It's unattractive for you. It's unattractive. And I talked about this in the attractiveness test that I put out here on the channel, right? If you actually go to like the home feed or like the videos, because this is under the live section, but if you were to actually go to the videos, like it was about looks aren't everything and all of the other things that makes someone attractive. Certain things are deal breakers. Certain things are deal breakers. You could score really high and have all of these pluses, but if you have a deal breaker, you have a deal breaker. And more likely than not, unless someone has the same exact deal breaker, you're not going to last. The relationship is not going to last. You know, if two people are in a relationship of convenience because of money and they both work hard and they're both, you know, paternal and maternal, they're good parents, but they're both fucking cheats. Well, it works for them. They could both cheat on each other. They can not give a fuck. They can keep doing what they're doing to build life and their family and every other fucking thing that they're doing. It works. They both got the same deal breaker. Great. We're even. But I don't have the same deal breaker as most people. I do not drink or do drugs. I just don't. You know? So knowing yourself and what makes you attractive, knowing where someone else is and what makes them attractive, what you can and cannot deal with, it makes you stronger. You know, it makes you stronger. Like, said person might not want to ever be with somebody who tries gaslighting them, manipulating them, trying to convince them they're crazy and they don't remember shit right. Right? Someone who would rather fucking argue for the sake of arguing just because they're fucking bored. Just because they're fucking bored or they think it's funny. Right? They think it's a game. That they can have that kind of power over somebody. You know? Like, yeah, you might have a lot of attraction to this person. They might be a very good provider, right? King of diamonds, king of clubs, energy that came out in the charms. But if they are not faithful or they have a gambling addiction and they're blowing, you know, money that could be your retirement or could be your, you know, your life savings or in case of emergency cushion, they're drinking things away. Like, well... sometimes the cons end up outweighing the pros, even if it didn't at first. Over time, the more you deal with it, it's not attractive. So, you know what? Be in your strength. Find somebody else who is in their strength and it matches yours. It works well with yours, right? It works well with yours, that you can agree and appreciate each other's strengths. You don't always have to have the same exact one, but you can appreciate the value that someone has something that you don't. You know, maybe someone is super strong in business and super strong in earning money, but they do not have a parental bone in their body, but they always wanted to have children. And you are that nurturing, parental type person, and you love it, and you're not a hard earning, big time earning person, and you've always wanted to have kids. Well, great. Y'all might get along real well because where you are not strong, the other person is strong, and that could work. Right? But you've got to know who you are and what you are and aren't willing to deal with. And move on. Like, there is no try. Try is a bullshit word. You either do or you don't. It either works or it doesn't. If you're trying to make it work, well, good luck. Good luck. If both people are willing to try and change, that's possible. If both people are willing to heal, that's possible. Therapy is great for that. Mentors are great for that. Light workers, like the publican, are great for that. Be willing to take the good advice, right? But if even just one person is not willing to change, well, it's got to stop. It's got to stop at some point. It's got to end at some point. Someone is not willing to change. In this case, with this particular reading, someone is unwilling to change. And that's okay. No one is saying that this person has to change. They're the darkness serving the light in the long run, being that catalyst for people who always intended to heal in this life and get beyond their ancestral karma. They do have their place here. Everybody has their place here. right? That's what that dignified card, that guidance card is about. Everybody having their place and serving in their strength, whatever their strength is. For this person, the strength is their shadow. It's their shadow. That is their strength, because it forces those whose shadow is not their strength. It forces them into the light, and the light is their strength. The light is their strength. They are serving in the highest. So hold gratitude for all of the characters that show up inside your movie that is your life. Because the villains hold a place in the story of the hero no different than Spider-Man's grandmom. You know, like they all hold the role. They all hold that role. Make sure that you know who the players are and who is in your corner. And don't force people. Don't force people. Sometimes people are who they are. Sometimes if you change, someone else will follow suit and also change. Sometimes they don't. You have to be able to move on from it. You have to be able to let it go. Let them live whatever their best life is. In whatever energy they're in. Let them be in their strength. The minute you try and change somebody and force things to fit, more often than not, it does backfire. And it just ends up hurting the people with good intentions. You know, because I feel like whoever this person is, the demon's lantern and the beating, like they had good intentions. They had really good intentions. They really wanted to see the bear heal. But the bear is in the devil energy twice over. They're the hermit. They're solo. They don't attach themselves to anybody. They're attached to their sadness. They're attached to their shadow, to their demons. And that's the role that they play, right? So thank them, wish them well. You learned a lot about yourself and move forward. All right. The best you can. God knows people like me and Tonya are always here on the channel helping you guys move through exactly that process in and of itself. So if you have not subscribed, I hope you do, and I hope you stick around, because we're going to be live more often. Free Card Friday is going to be here on the channel now. We're transitioning off of Facebook, so all the Free Card Friday lives are going to be here on YouTube now. And her collective coffee with Tonya, that's public, will also be here. We're taking that off of Facebook as well. It's all going to be on YouTube, all lives, all day. Whenever we're guided to do it, we're going to be on YouTube hella more often. And I look forward to seeing you guys around. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great, blessed day wherever you are in the world and divine time. And I will catch y'all later. Take care, everybody.